Hi, Jack here again. I've got just a couple of things to say before we start the podcast. Number one, we talk about plunderphonics and sampling a lot on this show. And just in case you don't already know, plunderphonics is any music made by taking one or more existing audio recordings and altering them in some way to make a new composition. And sampling is the act of taking a portion, or sample, of one sound recording and reusing it as an instrument or a sound recording in a different song or piece. Number two, we swear a lot on this show, so listener discretion is advised. That's all I've got. Enjoy the podcast. Hello and welcome back to CollaboRadio. My name is Jack, or Jawka. We also have Pat, also known as P.SUS.
What's up?
And Steve, also known as ThinkFishTank.
What's going on?
Our special guest today is Dom, also known as Riverman.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody!
Woo!
Woo! All right.
Fanfare.
Yes.
What's going on, guys?
Well, here we fucking go again, huh?
That's right, here we fucking go. We can curse on this show.
Yes, we can. Nice rhyme.
Thank you. Wow, I've been working on my
Just
rhymes.
rename it to Here We Fucking Go, the podcast.
Here we fucking go, the podcast. Sorry, that was...
the show.
Here we fucking go, the show. Ooh, that has a nice
Excellent.
ring to it. But yeah, anyway, welcome, everybody. Dom, could you just say a little bit about who you are and what it is you do?
I make music just like all you, but I started the Familiar Sounds channel, which this podcast will be going on.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I also started the BSH FTW channel before that, the Pogo fan channel.
Yes.
I feel like that's seldom known information. I feel like people are going to be like, whoa,
They're gonna be like, he's not the
Oh, yeah,
Pogo.
that's like a huge drop, dude. That's like...
that's not Pogo?
Yeah, just yesterday, someone confused the stuff I uploaded on that channel as stuff that I had made, and it's like, no, it's all Pogo.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Oh,
I don't know what else to say.
fair enough.
That just about covers it.
So, yeah, I mean, that covers the basic things. We all make plunderphonic music. We all sample things. We all
Yes.
kind of do our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, Dom, you've got a new album coming out. It's called Crate Odyssey.
Yes.
Wow.
And, yeah, how long have you been working on this thing? I feel like it's been several years now.
Yeah, it's been just over 3 years
Jesus Christ. Wow.
since I started it.
Yeah, and you have been working your ass off on this thing, and we've all had a chance to listen to it, and we all have an idea of kind of what you're going for, but in your own words, how would you describe kind of the theme or the feel of it?
Well, when I first started working on the album, I just wanted to make a pure plunderphonics album in line with, say, DJ Shadow, The Avalanches, stuff like that. And I guess I didn't really have a specific theme for it other than it just be kind of like my own sound, all with samples. But as the album progressed, I noticed there was a bit of like, I guess, a space vibe going on with it. So I just kind of went down that route with it. And I guess the overall theme of the album is that it's kind of like spacey. It just reminds me of like a spacey vibe.
Totally. When I was first listening to it, when you sent it over to me, I was like, wow, this is almost as if the Avalanches made a space album. And
Yeah,
you mentioned
I agree.
and you mentioned just now that you were going for Avalanche's DJ Shadow kind of feel with it, and yeah, I totally hear that.
Yeah.
I hear the DJ Shadow more probably than the Avalanches.
Fair.
Yeah, I guess I was going for kind of a middle way between the two. It has the darkness of the Shadow introducing album, like the kind of like moodiness of it,
Right.
but more of the production aspects of, say, Since I Left You.
Yeah.
It's not quite as like murky sounding as introducing. It's a bit fuller sounding.
And I mean, plus original. You
Yeah.
know, it's your own thing too, for sure. Like,
Thanks.
Right.
I mean,
It's very Riverman,
Oh,
if I
yes.
might say so myself.
yeah, exactly.
I can definitely see the Riverman influence on this sound.
Oh,
I like the space theme too. I feel like that's pretty unique. I haven't heard too many space themed plunderphonic type dealios.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just like those kind of like spacey samples. So it would make sense that it would just kind of like string together like that.
Nice.
I feel like it's not exactly space as in like lots of synths or like the UFOs are landing and shooting laser beams at everyone. It's not like that. It's like space as in like in reality, like the vastness and the beauty of it. Like that's kind of what I envisioned when I was listening to it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. It's not like Star Wars. It's more 2001: A Space Odyssey than Star Wars, if that makes any sense.
Oh,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I totally thought of that movie. Like, there's a track on there called Space Odyssey, right?
Yes,
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and
You nailed it. You nailed the vibe.
yeah, this I'd say this is probably by far your best work so far, and I know you've been working really hard on this over the years, and you've been very meticulous with getting the sound just right and the mixing just right, and by God, it shows. It really does show. So when you were in the middle of trying to put this whole thing together, did you have specific things in mind that you knew you wanted to try to sample and string into it? Or was it pretty random in terms of your sample set?
It was pretty random.
Nice.
It was pretty random, yes. So, like, as you guys know, I collect an abundance of vinyl records. Just, like, every week I'm buying shit. And whatever I could lay my hands on, I'd, check it out and see if I could sample it. And, over the past few years, ever since I started collecting, I've built up this huge library of samples that I could just, like, pick and choose from. So, like, if I get, like one record that has, like, a perfect, like, sample that I can start with, then I can go through my sample library and just pick out any bits that might fit with it and just kind of, like, experiment and see what happens. And, 99% of the time, it doesn't work. But that 1% of the time where it does work and it builds into, like, a full track, it's really cool.
Good. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. When you're sampling stuff, like how small of samples are you putting in your library? Like entire pieces, or are these pretty small samples that you cut up beforehand?
It varies a lot. There are some long samples in there, but there are also like really short, less than a second samples as well.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was curious about. Like other, because everyone samples a little bit differently.
It really just depends on what it is I'm sampling, honestly.
It flows together so well. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's a really long sample or short sample because it all flows together really seamlessly.
That means you're doing it right.
Yeah. I mean, like sometimes the choppy sort of vibe, like sometimes people go for that, to kind of do that style. And it's not exactly that. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Dom, when you were making this, do you have a preference for whether you're like manipulating samples or warping samples, stretching, or do you like to keep them intact so they still have that sound? Do you tend to go one way or the other?
I'd say it's a bit of a balancing act.
Mm-hmm.
So like I try to retain the sound of the original samples for the most part, but at the same time I'm not afraid, if I feel like it, to just kind of like warp them and do crazy shit to them.
Yeah, right on.
There's a few tracks on there in particular where I do that quite a lot, where I kind of like warp samples. But I'd say for the most part, they're pretty untampered with. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
There's this one, I forget the name of the track, but it has this very intense bass sample that you and I were fucking around with for quite a long time trying to get it right, and then you figured it out. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I've completely forgotten what I named these tracks. Sorry.
Fair enough.
That happens.
But yeah, it has this really, really intricate bass sample that A, was in stereo, and B, a couple of notes were a little bit off key from the rest of the piece.
Yeah, I've just looked it up. It's called Solar Storm.
Oh, yeah.
That's the name of the track.
Oh, that's the one I remixed.
Yes, yeah. And I actually sent it to you while it was still wrong, so sorry about that.
Well, I think it sounds good still, so
Word.
no worries.
Yeah, well, basically, I just kind of, like, I stuck this, like, I guess, slap bass sample in there, and, originally I thought, oh, this sounds really cool. And then Jack listened to it, and I was like, yeah, it's a bit off. And I'm like, I can't hear it at all.
Oh yeah, Jack's
Classic
got
Jack.
that perfect pitch. Sorry.
Jack's always
And
doing
then,
that to
like,
me.
Literally, like, a month ago, I was like, I should probably investigate this before I actually release the album. And I literally pitched it up by like a semitone. And I was like, oh, I think I've actually fixed this. So
That happens to me all the time. Like sometimes, yeah, it's just like the musician is playing slightly out of tune or something for a second, and it's like I want to use this part, but it's like you don't know whether to like keep it out of tune a little bit or like fix it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's a hard judgment call. It
Yeah.
definitely is.
Yeah, especially depending on how dense the part in question is and whether there are other things on top of it.
I mean, like, if the sample was any more than a semitone out of key, I wouldn't have bothered to fix it. But
Right.
It's just the fact that it was such a small change in pitch that was required that it was like, I might as well just do it.
yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was gonna say also the samples, like you've captured like the vibe of the vinyl sound,
Yeah.
like the experience of listening to a vinyl. Like I thought that was really cool. I feel like you probably did that on purpose. It's like because
Absolutely, yeah.
we were talking about, like you were saying, how you tried to keep them not too tampered with, and I liked how it retained the vinyl quality to it.
Yeah, that's the reason I brought that up, is because you could tell for sure that a lot of them were just like clean samples, and it's just like a really nice sound.
Yeah. Basically, I guess the very first thing I ever thought of, like as a theme for the album, was that I wanted to keep it as like close to that vinyl sound as possible.
Word.
So like, I just love that sound, and I just wanted to create a kind of like whole album based around that sound, where I just kind of like emphasize my like, favorite aspects of vinyl on the record. Yeah.
That's like the very first thing you hear on the very first track. I think it's kind of like record static with like some kind of filter effect on it. Just like that totally like sets the tone.
Absolutely.
Like right off the bat. It's neat.
Yeah. That's actually the oldest track on the album, the first track.
Oh, no shit.
That track is over 3 years old.
I don't think I'd ever
insane.
heard that one until you sent the whole thing my way.
Yeah, I actually made it and I just completely forgot about it for ages. And then I think I showed it to Milo like a year or two ago, and it was like, wow, this is really cool. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I should do something with it.
Shout out to Milo.
Yeah.
Sapien Alien.
Yeah.
Woo!
The one, the only.
Yeah, we'll have him on sometime as well, I'm sure.
I'm sure he appreciates the space theme, or will appreciate it.
Yes.
He hasn't heard it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done a remix, actually. He sent it to me just the other day.
Oh, sweet.
Word.
So,
So
yeah.
how many of us are doing remixes?
5,
Holy
I think.
shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so you 3, Milo, and Josh.
Nice.
It's a pretty hefty lineup.
I'm still working on mine and trying to add more to it and all of that, and I gotta hurry the fuck up with that. 'Cause
Yeah, me too.
when is this album coming out?
February 10th is the
Oh,
release
nice.
date.
Okay,
Yeah, we
cool.
should plug that for sure. February 10th. And this is a Bandcamp release, Dom?
Yeah, it's a Bandcamp release. I'm
Okay.
not sure if I'm going to put it anywhere else just yet. I guess I'll just figure that out.
Word.
Cool.
Any price on this, or is this a pay what you want kind of deal?
I am going to put a price on this one just because of like how much effort
You
I've put into
should. You should.
it. I'm not 100% sure on what I'll charge for it yet.
Fair enough.
Not loads, but like yeah.
Okay.
Loads. Charge them loads.
$10,000, please.
$10,000.
$10,000.
I mean, you gotta factor in the price of vinyl, right? Like how much money you've spent on vinyl, and then
Oh
you
yeah,
gotta...
like, if I want to make my money back on like how much I've spent trying to make this thing, I'd have to charge a lot of money.
right.
I'm sure whatever price you come up with will be reasonable.
It's like that Wu-Tang Clan album that's like $1 million or something. You heard about that?
I thought it was 5 million actually.
Oh.
I
Oh
could
my
be wrong,
god.
Oh,
It's like
only
only
5
Is it
one
just
million.
because it's
person's
super
allowed.
rare?
though. No, it's because they only made one, and like they just like sold it with all these like terms and conditions, like you can never play it in public and like all that kind of stuff. It's
My
it's
God.
really weird.
Damn.
Yeah.
So there's like one person owns this, I assume, or
Yeah, some rich dickhead.
some
remember
rich
his name.
dickhead.
Donald Trump.
Dom, one final question about the album. Is this pretty much all samples, or what's the deal there?
Yes, it's 100% samples from
Nice.
vinyl.
Oh, fucking nice, dude.
Again, that was another theme.
That's so sweet. That's awesome.
Even like one-shot drums in there, like kick drums and snares.
Yep.
They're all from vinyl.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. attention to detail.
I think that's like a huge selling point, or not like a selling point, but like a promoting point is like that. Like people respect that so much. Like 100% samples, 100% sample from vinyl. That's like huge. Like nobody's really doing that, to be honest.
Yeah, I just wanted to like again capture that vinyl vibe, but also retain it by not kind of like juxtaposing it with digital sounds.
Yeah.
So like you know, you hear so much Plunderphonics where like the kick and the snare drum and the bass is so obviously either from a sample pack or a synth or whatever, you know. And
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to not do that and just keep it all from vinyl.
nice.
Yeah, I feel you. That's cool. And you can tell too, like I've already said, the sound is totally different than other stuff you'll hear. But yeah, anybody else have questions about the album while we got Dom here?
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have, I suppose this is kind of a hard question to answer. Do you have any particularly favorite tracks of yours from this album, or tracks that were either
Ooh, good question.
really, really fun to throw together, tracks that were a bitch to throw together, you know?
Also, what is your least favorite track as well?
Oh, right.
No,
let
just
me
kidding.
think about
Don't
this.
answer that.
Let me think about this. I guess one of the most fun tracks to put together would be Computer Talk. Was very fun to put together.
Yeah, that was great.
The like 80s themed one. That one just came together like really quickly and really nicely, and was just real easy.
I had a feeling you were going to say that for some reason. I was like, I bet he's going to say Computer Talk. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You can kind of hear it when you listen to it. That
Oh, I'm rolling it in right now.
Yeah, also Dark Energy was a really cool one to put together. That one was like much more abstract and weird. And that was just like, I actually made that track just like 2 months ago.
Oh, shit.
And basically I just had all these like weird samples that I just couldn't use in any other like setting at all, just stockpiled. I was like, you know what, let's use all these together and see what happens. It came out kind of cool, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's very cool. It's very... have any of you heard of Marconi Union? They're kind of like an ambient group. There were some parts of it that reminded me a lot of that in a very cool kind of way. It was sort of like a creepier twist on it, and it was wonderful.
Well, space
on.
is kind of creepy, so you got to get
Space,
some
yeah.
of that in
The
there.
final frontier, as they say.
Yeah.
Dom, besides Avalanche's DJ Shadow, is there any specific influences from like for this album? Like not necessarily you, but this album in particular?
Yes.
Yeah.
Another influence I'd say would be an album that Brian Eno and David Byrne made in the early 80s called
Yeah,
My
dude.
Life in the Bush of Ghosts.
Nice.
Like, it has this like really creepy, dark vibe to it, and I feel like a lot of the kind of like production style of my album is influenced by that one.
Nice.
It just, I don't know, it just has a similar vibe to it, I think.
Nice, dude.
I definitely heard the Brian Eno influence, even though I'm not
Yeah.
like super well versed in him. I was like getting that now that you mention it, especially.
I need to listen to more Brian Eno myself. Like in our
he's great, dude.
group, his
Yeah.
name has come up so much, and I do have a couple of albums of his, but I need to actually like sit my ass down and give those a listen, because
For sure.
yeah.
It can be kind of hard, to be honest. Sometimes like you kind of have to be, at least for me, like you have to be in the right mood for it, because it's so it can be so ambient sometimes, and it can't always hold your attention. Like no hate,
Yeah.
no
It's
hate.
It's good
just-
background music for sure. Like put it on in the background while you're playing video games or something. You know, it's great.
That's like the whole point. That was like the whole point of Eno's music in the first place. Was like, you know, it was music that you could listen to directly and also have in the background and still enjoy at the same time.
Right on.
That was like his like whole idea for ambient music back in the 70s.
Nice.
Right. It's just like create this vibe in the air that is
Yeah.
palatable. Palatable, that's not the word
Yeah.
I want. Oh boy.
I think we get what you mean.
Palatable.
I was also gonna say, I really like the Indian music samples that you did.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I like that theme a lot.
Shit, what was was it Monochrome? Was the name of the track that had those?
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
Monochrome has some Indian samples in
That's
it.
the one I'm remixing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love those samples. Those are so nice.
Yeah.
That's the reason I was like, oh, I gotta remix this song just because like those samples are dope. They're really nice, like the singing especially.
Yeah.
I remember just being floored by it's calm, but yet it has this intensity behind it. This almost kind of trance-like intensity that brings all sorts of really wonderful and trippy kind of visuals to mind.
I'm actually making a music video for that track at the moment.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, nice. What kind of stuff are you using for footage?
It's going to be interesting. I'm actually using a lot of footage from like old silent movies from like the 20s. So
Okay,
like some
right
like
on.
really like weird surrealist like Dada stuff from the 20s. I don't know why, but I've had the idea to make a video for that track based around that kind of stuff for like well over a year now.
Right, dude.
So
Nice.
yeah, it's just something I feel like I need to do.
What about Trip to the Moon? That matched some of the album pretty well.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
That old silent film.
I might do that for another track. I might
Yeah.
do that for another
Sweet.
track, but not that
Okay.
one.
yeah.
Fair enough.
You should like go to the actual moon.
Yeah,
should, like,
yeah.
go
Just
into
take a trip
space.
to the moon, and just shoot some footage while you're up there, just floating around, and
You
they'll probably
know.
go viral.
Yeah, probably would. You know, considering no one's been there for ages.
Yeah, you'd probably never come back, but it would be totally worth it.
Do it for the Vine, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
Do it for the non-existent Vine.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of doing things for the internet, we recently had our first official remix challenge that we posted on Familiar Sounds. And
Ooh, we should talk about that.
I would say it's for those of you who are either didn't tune into the last episode or are unfamiliar with what we mean when we say remix challenge. It's when we basically just take a random source, be it a little scene from a movie, TV, or music of other sorts, and we try to essentially create a plunderphonic track out of it. And Dom, remind me how you came up with the source this time around.
Oh my god.
Me and Steve were talking about something completely idiotic. I can't remember what it was now.
Me neither.
But like, somehow we just stumbled onto the word holy, and I just sent that through YouTube search, and the first thing that came up with this was this song called Holy. And I'm like, what is this song? And I just listened to it. I'm like, wow, this is really terrible, but we could totally remix this.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah. Pop country isn't our usual genre of choice, but I thought that actually worked pretty well for remixing all things considered, just because, again, just kind of working within those constraints of what you wouldn't normally be working with. It was really...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You certainly disguised it well.
Yeah.
Right.
I was kind of pleased with what I had. I was like, okay, yeah, this is decent sounding. I'm like, okay, what do you got there, Dom? And he's like, I have a full track. I'm like, son of a bitch! He's got us again!
I found my conversation with Dom. If you want me to transcribe it, it's pretty funny.
Please do.
Transcribe, is that the word? Why am I struggling with words today? Okay, so we're talking about the remix challenge. Dom says, who decides what we remix? And I just say, God, for no reason. It's my response. And he says, is he contributing a remix as well? And I say, oh yeah, he's not very good, but he tries his darndest. Mostly makes his son do all the real work. Oh my God. And then Dom says, typical dad. Great line. And then I say, yeah, but when they collab with the Holy Spirit, that shit is fire.
Oh, shit.
It's ridiculous.
Nice.
I don't know. It goes on, but somehow we decided to use the word holy and just punch that into YouTube, and we got Florida Georgia Line's Holy, which is an interesting song, is what I will say about it. It's defined as what was the genre? Bro country, I believe is what they call it. Bro country, which
Yes.
I don't know. It feels like gospel and country and like pop music all thrown into like an old blender that is broken, and, and this is what came
Only
out.
bros allowed.
Only bros allowed. Yeah. So yeah, then we did the challenge, and mine was pretty shit, but
Nah,
I
nah,
tried.
you're too hard on yourself, man. Like, honestly,
I'm gonna do better next
no,
time.
no, no. What I would do is I would definitely take that and keep exploring that, because there is definitely something there. I think Dom said it was kind of like Akufenish chopping and sampling, and I
Yeah.
definitely hear that. And what you have is definitely a start of something, and I encourage you to continue working with it.
I think that's why, maybe if we kept it, like, one idea I had was if we keep it like really tight, like an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
So basically all you can put out is an idea, right? And then what you do is you rotate the song to the next guy, and they have to build on it from there. I think that really could be really neat.
And then they have an hour to work with it.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Because what I built was something that needs more elaboration. Because I ran out of time. I basically built an entire track that I hated and then started over, and so it was rubbish. But
Damn.
if then it had been handed off to the next person, then it could actually become something, I think. So that might be something fun to try.
Need some funky bass.
I was gonna say, like, they were all in the same key, so I was almost like, you could probably like stitch all of these together into like one giant song
Yeah,
That
that
you
just
totally
has like
could.
a thought.
wildly different sections.
God.
That's a really fun idea.
Yeah, I would totally be down for trying that sometime. But yeah, everything that we came up with in that hour 40 that we had to work on it, all three of our mixes are on the channel with Familiar Sounds, and we are still waiting for results on who won. What are we remixing next? We've gotten a couple of ideas submitted to us, and they're cool tracks and all. But I can see that they're kind of within the same realm of kind of the stuff we do, kind of plunderphonic, trippy stuff. And as much fun as it would be to remix a bonobo track, I feel like it might be possibly cooler to pick something a little more random and outside of our realm. But
Yeah,
then again,
I totally agree.
Then again, like,
it could be done. Like,
yeah, it could absolutely be done. Yeah.
Something really cool could come out of remixing or sampling. I think that's like can be a little the line between those two is a little blurred sometimes.
Yeah.
But
It's
like,
I know you talked about this the other day, but I think sample challenge is a good name for it. I'm not sure if people know if someone just saw the phrase sample challenge, I'm not sure if it would be as obvious as remix challenge, like what is happening, but the name
true.
definitely suits what we do better.
Yeah.
because like remixing is like people know it's going to be music related, whereas sample, like if it was just somebody random that didn't know what they were clicking on, they wouldn't know what sample meant.
It's like someone going into Walmart and trying out free samples or something, but like it's a challenge.
Yeah.
they're like expecting
at
a showdown.
the same time, though, like someone who sees remix challenge, they probably expect like an actual like song just with like different instruments and stuff.
Yeah,
That's the
They
thing.
wouldn't expect it to be all like chopped up and stuff like we do it.
Yep.
So it's there's problems either way with that. I think.
We'll have to think more
Well,
on
you
that.
can write us in and tell us what you think.
Yes, please, by all means.
Tell us A, who won, B, what we should remix next, and C, what we should call this damn contest.
Yes. Yes. It's up to
Yeah.
you.
Please help us out.
Write us in the mail.
Yeah, literally mail us a letter. We need a P.O. box for all
Yes,
the
it's
fan
1,
mail
2,
we're
3
getting.
Collaborate Avenue.
Collaborate Avenue.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
just like
Number 8.
Number 8.
when you
yes.
said it like that, Steve, it just made me think of like a TV commercial. Like, write us
1, 2,
in.
3, Collaborate Avenue. Mail us
Yeah.
today.
Good lord.
All right. So our next Collaborate mixtape, we don't have a name for it yet, but it's gonna be dope.
What is it,
So
Steve?
we've got I'm really setting this up. This is great. We've got a great lineup of people. I think all of you will be contributing.
Yes.
Pat, Dom, and Jack. Jack, are you contributing?
Yes.
Yes. All right, Jack's
Yes.
contributing.
Yes.
You've heard it here live on the radio, folks. If his song is not on the album, you can write to
Not
him
live,
at
but-
123 Collaborate Avenue. What state do we live in? I forget.
We live in Florida, Man.
Wyoming.
Wyoming. Perfect. Email us. All right. Belinsky will be on there, which would be dope. We worked with him on the last mixtape. And we're going to get some more people. Can't name drop yet, but there will be some more people. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
The theme is going to revolve around the nighttime, about, late night beat making, late night going for a car ride through the city, that kind of vibe. Just fun, mellow, and dark. So it should be really cool. And that should be due out late
Except
February.
for my tracks, because I can't make dark. I can't make dark songs.
Oh, yeah, we
so-
discussed that
Well,
last time.
It's not like, I guess I don't mean dark in the sense of like
It's
or
just-
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's more like the vibe of nighttime.
Yeah.
How do you say that in a word, in one
Twilight.
word?
Like,
Well, no, not fuck. That brings up
Starlit.
vampires. Damn it. Shit.
Twilight.
Dusk.
Team Jacob.
Dusk.
Is Jacob a character?
Yeah,
I forget.
we sampled the Twilight movies.
We should actually. That'd be fun.
I don't want to watch those. Fuck that.
No, no thanks.
Fuck that.
Please, Pogo. Could you make a remix
Please,
of the
Pogo.
Twilight movies, Pogo?
Ah.
Like
All of them. Every single one.
one for each.
Make sure you use lots of Melodyne.
So yeah, we gotta figure out a name for that. So email us your names.
Help us out.
Tell us. Just do all the work
Yes,
for us.
yes.
Make the beats as well.
Do
for us.
everything.
If you could also publish 12 songs,
And then let us use them.
make your own beats. Jesus.
Yeah, and then promote it on your Facebook.
Yeah. Tell us your thoughts down below, by all means. Please and thanks.
Oh man, we got a pretty good response to our first podcast. I was very pleased.
Yeah.
I would have been happy with like 50 views. We got like maybe up 300 at this point. I don't know.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Really?
really?
And people were commenting.
I haven't checked it
People were
lately.
saying vaguely nice things to us, which was very nice. They didn't have to, but they
Yeah.
did.
It's very encouraging. We
was
thank you.
exciting.
We thank all of you.
Yes.
Yep. I'm very grateful for the positive response we've gotten from that. Just because first time we tried it, I mean, we were just kind of jumping in without really knowing what we were gonna get out of it. It was just like, hey, let's try this thing, see what happens, and yeah, the response has been very, very encouraging so far. So, hence we are doing
Very
it
not
again.
negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back. CollaboRadio 2.
Yeah.
If you're gonna look in the future, how many episodes before one of us dies?
3.
Couple hundred? I don't know.
3.
Three.
Oh Christ!
You trying to say something? Are you okay, Dom?
Dom died on the air. Oh, at least he'll have a really nice in memoriam, which will be his own album. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
It was from inhaling all the vinyl dust.
Right. He died doing what he loved, inhaling vinyl
Yeah, that's
dust.
true. I probably caught some disease now just by going through all those fucking dusty shelves for years on end.
Dude, I love the smell. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the smell of
It's
vinyl?
like
Yeah.
the vinyl
Yeah.
smell. I don't know if that's the dust or what.
It might be the glue in the packaging. Like the
Yeah.
It's probably like
that's
mildew,
aged.
honestly.
It's a mixture of dust, age, the actual packaging, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It is a unique smell.
Maybe
though.
even the records themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, what's a record smell like?
Well, some of them they're different. They're made from different material, like depending on how old they are and stuff. Like some of the older
Yeah.
ones are made with different stuff.
Oh yeah, Dom, you sampled some really old is it shellac that the 78s?
yes.
Yeah.
yeah. That's actually a future project, an album like a Caretaker-esque album. That's probably gonna be coming out either late this year or early next year. Not sure yet.
Hell yeah. All
Oh, wow.
right.
I'm into that. I'm definitely into that.
He's already back. He's back, baby.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
last year I released absolutely nothing outside of the mixtape. So like I feel like I really need to get things moving again.
Mhm.
And I've got so many projects like backed up that need to be finished. So I highly suspect that I'll have a ton of stuff coming out this year.
Sweet.
Yeah. Sometimes finishing things can be it's probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
It
is
definitely
finishing something.
was with this album, I tell you. These past few months
Yeah.
have been absolute fucking torture. Just like trying to
feel
get
you,
the
dude.
mix right, and like when you're trying to like mix samples that are from completely different things together, and they're all kind of dirty, and there's no like clean stuff in the mix to kind of like help with that. It's so hard to just make them sound good as a whole.
Yeah. I remember you sent it to me for listening, and then like a couple hours after, you were like, wait, don't listen to that one. I discovered a problem. I have to remaster everything. And I was like, okay, fine.
Do not listen. do
Throw
not
it away.
listen. Burn it.
I feel like you did a good job, like not making it sound too. I mean, I guess we kind of already summed up this idea, but still, it's like even just like on the mix side of things, the production, mastering, mixing side, it's like it's not too overly compressed or EQ'd or anything.
Yeah.
It's,
So again, like it's
Struck a good balance.
yeah. I didn't want it to be too clean,
Overproduced.
because it just take away from the like vinyl aspect. I think.
Yeah.
We did
Yeah.
that.
So, as always, you can find my stuff at soundcloud.com/Jawka or on youtube.com/JawkaJabberwock. And Steve.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Steve, and you can find me on my website, ThinkFishTank.com. I've got all my stuff on there. You can find me on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, all that fun
I'm
shiz.
crying right now.
Stay with us, Pat. Also, the thing we're really plugging right now is CollaboRateMusic.com, which we're gonna post pretty much everything we do as a group, and all our, basically promoting new albums from us, and also just all the podcasts, all the new music. So definitely that's the place to go. But right now we could use followers on pretty much any social media. Go follow us on Twitter and wherever else we're SoundCloud. That'd be great. Just help spread the word of the joys of Collaborate. Help spread the holy gospel of Collaborate. So like us on there. All right, Pat, what you got?
You can find links to my stuff on the CollaboRate web zone, but P.SUSmusic.com is, where I got everything. So definitely check that out.
Sweet. And Dom?
Yeah, you can find me at soundcloud.com/Riverman125. I've also got links to my other pages on there, like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. My Bandcamp page is rivermanmusic.bandcamp.com, where my album will be released on February 10th. Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, create Odyssey, February 10th. rivermanmusic.bandcamp.com. We'll have all of these things down in the description below, as always.
Go buy it.
And yeah, holy shit. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of CollaboRadio. It's been fun as always. And yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground on this one.
This was great.
Hell yeah. So until next time, peace.
Peace.
Later.
Bye.
See ya.